So we are back. This is the picture frame I did yesterday. Very nice ocean theme, a beach and ocean theme. It is not quite dry yet, and we had played with clear Elmer's glue, and it created some interesting textures, which I think will be nice for this particular frame. But all in all, I was not pleased with what the Elmer's glue does texturally, so we're done with that experiment. Now, guys, anyone watching this, I mean, these are things and tips and things that I've learned, tricks and all that, but have fun with it, just experiment, watch all the videos. But I have received some requests for particular color schemes. We're going to do one blue, red, green, just not a bright green. So blues tend to be a dark, reds tend to be a mid-tone, and greens, since they don't want it bright, it's going to go dark. So I gotta be careful with everything being a dark mess, and you want contrasting. So that's why I did this darker blue, which then actually creates some beautiful water onto the beach look, and then I add white to be a contrast, and then we added a lighter blue. So those two lighter colors then help to offset the darker colors. So we're gonna have to do that on purpose with this. And the other request was turquoise or teal, rust, and coral. Coral, they didn't want it to be like dark like salmon. They wanted it to be a lighter pink, but not like a hot pink. And then rust, we're gonna go for more of a raw sienna. I may have to make my own from looking at my colors that I got. I don't have anything like that. And turquoise is just kind of a teal. You know, it's maybe more of this kind of color, but she wants it more darker. So that one's gonna be dark. That one could be light, and that one could be dark. So we'll have to see what we have. We just get these frames at Walmart. They're wooden frames by Plaid, 5x7s. That's what we've been working with, is a 5x7 surface, masonite, paint ready. We use the smooth side, and we left the backing in this one, so when you take that out, that'll actually create its own piece of artwork, which we're gonna leave and give that to its intended client, and they can do what they want with it. They can frame it, put up the whole thing like that. So we'll leave it all together, shake off the dust, the debris and all that, leave everything intact, and we will just pour kind of right on here. Last night I had this and it helped out, so I may still use this tray, but I've got two of them to do. So one is going to be the blue, green, reds, and we'll use the strainer pour. And I really enjoyed my funnel I made. That was a fun pour, so we may do that one again. I'll try some tests of the colors to see what I like before I actually commit to this. So feel free to, scrub ahead to see the end results if you don't like the whole process, but every time I make the video, I will show you the entire process if this is the first time you're watching. So I just use regular old craft acrylics. Sometimes I'll get some fancier, more expensive acrylics out, especially right now since I have to do my rust. I paint and draw and do all kinds of stuff, so right now we're just experimenting with the pour painting, because that is something fun my kids and I can do, and they make great Christmas presents and all that. So we gotta get out my fancy paints. I hide them from my kids. And that might be right what I need. Burnt, we'll keep that out. And I need raw sienna. And there's ochre. Maybe a little raw sienna in there. I thought I saw one. And another burnt. There it is, raw sienna. So we'll use that one instead of the burnt. I thought I had a bigger one. There it is. That's what I want right there. So that's my fancier paint. We'll put those ones away. We'll set that aside. Okay, so yeah, I do art all the time, everywhere, all my life, and it's like all over my kitchen. I've got stuff I'm painting over there, so yeah, and my family accepts it and enjoys it. All right, here we go. I have a very busy street near my house, so it's just gonna get loud whenever somebody got the green light and they drove away. Anyways. This tray we picked up at Walmart. It was the bottom of this little guy, which used to have a former life as a cupcake, like a dozen cupcakes, and they sat together like that. And so we tend to recycle stuff, and just happened to have this when we started doing this. I've only been doing this maybe a couple weeks now, so I'm not a great expert, but I have been doing art for like 35 years, and I have a lot of fun with it. Okay, so we are going to make our own you're going to see how to use your fancy paints to do your own today. So I normally like to start off with my paint. So we'll take this paint, we'll squeeze a dollop, a couple drops, that's all you need. And you can close that up, set that aside. If I was making a whole bottle, I'd probably work it out, but I'll take that little thing and get us some of our other tools here. Got these craft sticks. I like using the wider sticks for swipes, the smaller sticks for mixing. I may have to get newer sticks out. We haven't necessarily designated a place where we do acrylic pour painting. I've got tons of rooms in my house and a whole other shop and garage, but my kids like to be with me when I do it, and we haven't really been kicked out by mommy yet, so we're gonna do it here. So you take that should be enough paint for what I need. We use the 3-in-1 silicone with the Floetrol flow leveling. This is basically, in normal acrylic painting, you use some kind of a vehicle, medium is what it's called. When you could use a matte one or a gloss medium or something, I like to use mostly mattes and stuff. This one helps with, they use it on flooring, but everybody swears by this one. So we use those two as a basic formula. I start off with paint. I like to just fill up the bottom of paint normally, and you'll see that with one of these other paint bottles. They fill up nicely. And then we do the couple squirts of this. I do about 3 squirts of the silicone. And then I'll use the Floetrol, and I'll fill that up to about that first ring in the cup. You see that? So that's what it's about 1 inch. And we'll just take a stir stick, adjust the camera here so you can watch what I see. And I give you guys my POV. I don't care too much if you see my face. You can see my face, I guess. I'll post it sometimes. Sometimes I say hi. Now this is gonna be beautiful. I'll stir this for about 20 seconds or so. And it'll get to the viscosity of melted ice cream. And I'll rub the lumps out along the washboard sides there. That's why we like these Great Value 5-ounce little cups, and we don't cry if we're throwing them away. We've tried recycling them or cleaning them out. It's just not the same quality, and you end up with garbage. So if you start off with fresh, clean everything, you won't end up with contaminations or lumps. Your colors stay nicer. All right, so that's that one. We've made our rust. She wanted coral. I have a bottle of that. It was going to be this one rather than this one. You see the difference, kind of a lighter, and this one's more of a red. That's what she wanted, kind of a coral. She said peachy. Sorry for the camera shakes, guys. That's me shaking my paint. I've got this thing mounted on my chest so I can have my hands free. Okay, this is a good brand. We like this one too. So this, you'll see how much I actually use with some of these more liquidy craft paints. And I try, hopefully, you know, if your kids or you remember to close your lids, you won't get those lumps. Don't pour your paint back into those. What we do is we get these little bottles at the dollar store, and that's where I'll pour my excess paint and my muds. It's like, this is a, you know, a bunch of purple nasty stuff, but we could use that again. You know, somebody wanted to do a light purple, so you'll end up with some excess paint. 3, we're happy with that. Get our Floetrol, and we got that. So these two right now, these two colors right now are going to be about the same grayscale, lightness, contrast, and everything. So I'm going to go with a much darker turquoise color. We're going to go with something like that one. And this will be a strainer pour. And for the heck of it, I may add a lighter turquoise too, or a white. Haven't decided yet. I find that the white offers a lot more contrast. But this pink is pretty light. This coral is pretty light. We may go with like an orange or something. All right, that one's done. And yeah, usually I'll leave this stir stick in there to remind me, and so that I don't contaminate it. Next one is that dark turquoise. So we did this, and I think yesterday I added a little bit more black to it or something to make that, excuse me. That one's enough. I don't need to add anything to that one. That'll be contrasting enough. It's a little bit more green than what you guys are seeing. For some reason it looks bluey, but it's that teal, that turquoise color. And I used up all the Floetrol in my convenient squirter. You can pick up this at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's about like 12, 13 bucks a gallon. Much cheaper than anything else I've seen. Here we go. And this way is the easiest I've been able to do it. It keeps track of the recipe. Yeah, my screen's showing it to be more blue than green, but there's a little bit more green to that. I don't know why it's doing that. That's annoying. Okay, got those. We may just go with those 3. We'll see. Yeah. I No, I'm gonna do the white. And you guys saw how long it took to stir it. So white, you just kind of have to remember that to count to about 30, to count to 30, go for about 30 seconds. Because once you start mixing, you can't tell. So you put some up on the side, then you can tell. Sorry about that. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. Yep. While we're mixing, I'll remind you to click that like button, the subscribe button, and that little bell thing so you get notifications when I'm randomly live. Sometimes it's around 6, 7, or 8 Eastern Standard Time. Up along the sides you can see that it's white now. Alright, we're gonna go with those 3 and that should be lovely. Alright, so we keep these in these little convenient holders so that our paints don't fall away. I'm gonna experiment with this first before I commit to what it will look like on a product. That's what I did last night. We experimented. So I'll use this tray. This is a fun tray. Pick it up at the dollar store. It creates, you have edge catchers you can use. Sometimes we just leave a panel down there to catch everything else, and then we'll set a cup here. One of these, we'll use one of these pre-gesso old pieces of wonderful art from one of my children. And we're gonna do the strainer. Okay. Start off with let's start off with some dark. We'll start off with the teal, turquoise. The dollop. This is just a puddle pour through a strainer. Just do about the same size every time. Now that coral. So you can see those two are so similar in value. And then the white. The very ice cream, bunch of ice cream colors. Those two are gonna contrast. Did you fall down or something there, son? No. All right. You okay? No. You do this a couple times, then you'll start to see what it's doing outside of the strainer. You might be able to see it there in the video. And we'll go down to the side and peek at it. There's some other colanders that do fun stuff. I've enjoyed what this does, and it's small and convenient. I don't have to use another hand to hold it up. That's why we experiment, because I may not like what this color combination does. It may be embarrassing. All right, so we're starting to go off the edges here, and it's creating some nasty looking patterns, and we'll pull this up. It may be salvageable. And we'll set that guy aside. We'll take this cup out from underneath, and we'll use our edge catcher here. Save some of those edges. Put my hand underneath there. Put it in this corner. Pour it on down. It wants to go to this corner first, so fine, we'll do that corner first. I'm starting to get some fun stuff. They're just not some of my favorite colors, but that's what you end up doing, is you can get someone requesting their favorite colors, and so that's what you gotta do. I like what that one's doing right there, so we're gonna keep that, and I'll show you what we do instead. My hands are all messy. Wipe them off over here. Alright, what we do instead is I don't want to lose that blue. So we'll take some blue. Run that over there. And then some white. Maybe a drip of rust. If you don't have too much paint, you can sort of control it. And then we're gonna just dump that off a little bit more. Make it seem a little bit more natural. All right, and that's that experiment. I'm not sure if I like those combos. The rust and the turquoise are nice. I think we're gonna do it the other way. I think we're gonna go with, start off with white, pink. We're gonna reverse it. White, pink, and turquoise. We'll see about that. Well, that's that experiment. So let's go ahead and pour this bad boy, see what happens. I'll move all this stuff out of my way. And we'll use the colander. We're gonna have to revive and refresh all of our paints because we used up half of it. We'll go ahead and get it started with what we got. So, pour some white. Some pink. We'll do the teal instead. Teal. And then the rust. I think that's a better combo. We'll see how that one goes. We'll get this going. I'll use these up, and then we'll quickly mix some more so that we have enough to finish this pour. It's about 2 cups, about a cup and a half. 2 cups will do. Oh, was I supposed to do the rust? I don't remember. Oh well, I skipped a step. We'll go back through. Pay attention. if you're trying to duplicate a pattern or keep a formula, pay attention. And then we did the turquoise. See, now that's creating some funner stuff. Now we did the rust. All right. Let's just see what that strainer's doing. See, that's creating some nicer stuff, and I kind of like that. This is, it's all right. Yeah, that little spot, that looks pretty cool. But yeah, that pink isn't gonna be friends with that brown. It's gonna be very nasty. So let's get this going real quick. Feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to watch me mix paint. I really don't care. I do this because I want to do it. I don't do it really for anyone else. I only got 6 followers anyways, I think. So, to speed it up, you do everything the same. Pour your paints. Pour all your paints. And that'll be that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right. Don't say I never showed you. Don't say you don't understand this step. Okay. Get them going. And I can start pouring as I make these messes. So we just do white in here so I can start pouring some pink. And then we're going to do turquoise. I think my kitchen island is kind of unlevel. We may need to move this picture frame around because the little leg down here makes it higher. Teal, turquoise, and the mud, and then white. I might have messed it up. I think I messed it up. I don't remember the pattern. I don't remember the pattern. You know, that pink moved over top of the white. There was some white in there. Okay. Mix our white. This is very relaxing for me. Very fun. I get to create. I don't have to worry too much about compositions and principles of design too much. I just get to create. That's always fun. All right, we're gonna turn this around now that we got our colors going. That way, this isn't have it spilled that way. So it tends to gravitate over there. And don't fall in love with your cells or whatever. I mean, you're gonna lose stuff. So, pattern looks like pink, white. So, pink into the white. And then the blue into the pink for contrast. And then the teal. And then the white. Or sorry, the rust and then the white. And that's the pattern we've been doing. So we'll change it. Right, pink, blue, do it like that. Pink, blue, yep, there we go. Now I remember. Because I was getting confused. Pink. And the paintings just do whatever they want to. They have minds of their own. We haven't totally tried to science the hell out of this, where we try to duplicate the same painting every time. There's a lot of variables, but it is possible. What we did last time is we just kept pouring, and then it eventually will spill out when it starts spilling out the edge, then I start moving it around. And it's getting there. Almost did an oops cup. The oops cup is or the drop cup, is where you drop your cup into the pile and it makes wonderful patterns too. Seen that several times with my daughters. We're just gonna go faster now that it's starting to spill over. When it breaks loose, that's gonna be when I need to start tipping it and controlling it. It's almost there. It's almost there. And then that's about when I'm almost out of my paint. Anyways. The ugly rust. Get the white out. And some pink. And we should be good. Okay. Whew. And then we pull this up. And I'll go pour it around. Get rid of some of this nasty stuff. Paint the edges with it. Sorry, you guys aren't seeing any of what I was just saying. I'll pour it around the edges. That will act as a moisture barrier and keep some of the other stuff contained, and it creates some cool things. All right, now is the fun. We start controlling this. I'm gonna shove some of that over there. I'm gonna shove some of that one that way. So it goes to that corner. It's okay if it breaks that plane. I really don't need all that pink nastiness. What I'd rather have is what's happening down here, yeah. I'd rather have some of those big, awesome turquoise and rust cells. We want this to all fill up along the sides too. You gotta be mindful of the sides getting painted. All right, that's happened. And you can bring some of it, encourage some of it to come out this way. Be friends with everything else. All right, now we gotta go this way. Everybody go that way. Ooh, that's gonna be some fun. Really hideous colors. I'm not a fan of them. I need a much bigger pan for edge catching. We're just gonna guide it with our fingers here. Some fun stuff happening. getting these edges painted. That way we don't have to go too crazy. We'll get that to spill off in the middle there. Nice. Very nice. And we're gonna be good. And that's a very hideous pour for my mother. That's what she wanted. We're gonna straightway take this mess over to my drying station here. We'll set that there. That is a very hideous piece, but she's gonna love it because those are her favorite colors. We're just gonna make sure everything got paint and it looks good. All right. It was a lot better than my first experimental piece. I messed up the pattern, but it created its own monster. We've got teal, you know, good area of teal, turquoise. We got a good area of coral and a good area of rust, and the coral and the rust kind of blended together, and there's all kinds of fun right here. And the white did some crazy stuff, and it'll dry and we'll have some fun. What I would probably do is do some accidental drips of teal over here to carry that part of the composite, you know, even that out over the design. We'll show you how to do that. I'll wipe my mucky hands on my board here. And you get some fun stuff going on here. Alright, so we'll take the teal with us here. This is why I like to leave some. We just want to kind of accent what's already there. Break up some of that. And I like it. That'll be good. That makes me happy. And we're done with that one. Walk away. And we can be done with this one. We can move it out of the way. But then I end up with these extra cans, these little bit of extra paint. And so we do what's the last one, what I call is a mud mix. We'll make this little friend go over here. And these two can be friends together, and they're complementary, so she may end up getting that piece too with this frame, and she'll be happy for it. All right, we'll take this cup out of here. Didn't get contaminated. We can, well, the strainer's done, but we'll wash that out. So this has already got some mess in here that's been created from all our drips. We then take this muck and we pour this out. We get it all in those edges, and it creates a nasty gray color. And we can swipe it down in there. I'm just trying to save as much paint and not waste any more paint, because it does get costly. That's why artists have to charge. We love doing the paintings for free. We'll do anything for free, really. But I mean, the whole fun of the process. But this dang art supplies cost so much bleeding money. So I'll just pour this stuff around, scrape out all the rest of this wonderful paint. Set those cups aside. And when I'm done with this mud mix here, we'll call it a day on this video. I'll wash up and reload my other paints and set up for the next frame, because I still have to work on it. Alright, we're done with that pink. We'll get what's left of this blue. And these colors have been fun, but not my cup of tea. Not my choice. Just maybe the turquoise, rust, and white, but or maybe the white and the coral, but not with the brown. Not happening. Alright, so now we've got this mess here. And that lovely muck right there, you can take a bigger swipe stick and you can just kind of smear that around and smear it back and forth, and it'll create some fun stuff for you just by smearing the colors. And then we're gonna just play with some of this here, move it around. We don't want to destroy too much of what we created, but there's a lot of muck in there, and I'm okay with some of these non-favored colors. We'll get some more of this coming down here, and toothpaste looking muck, and we'll keep some of these cells. So what I'll do is I'll take my stick and kind of just smear those over, smear that back, encourage those to be where they're going to be, so that paint's covered everything, and then smear it around a little bit, let it fill in. We want to stretch out some of those cells better. I think that turned out to be a good piece. We got a hole over here. See, this is another thing you could do. You can scoop up some of this nonsense and dab it there. You know, if you like that, what's in that muck, you can drip it around. I've got a little bit of that hole over here, and we'll put this muck in there, and that will balance it. Composition wise, we've got some muck to fill in over here. I just want to make sure I don't have any holes. It looks alright. Plenty of muck there. So this is what I call a mud pour. That's why I love this tray still. It's great for edge catching. This one here is brilliant. It's just an old muffin loaf pan, and you can put it there. And this is if you're doing like just a regular flip cup. Set it in there, flip it, and then instead of it going off these edges, it'll fill in there, and then you can pour it back and forth. So we'll probably play with that one next, because this one's gonna be all nasty. Anyways, have fun, guys. See ya. I'll shut this off with my dirty fingers. Bye. And closing shot.